All right, Evelyn, what does the mouse got going on?
Well, I think Disney is such a fun company to talk about because they really have a hand in everything. They are very involved in a lot of Americans' childhoods, and they have those giant parks, right? And now with the launching of Disney Plus streaming services, they have a hand in what we're all binging when we get off work anyways. So Megan, I'm really interested in what people are talking about with Disney, what you're seeing from your LikeFolio content.
So when we look at Disney, there are so many ways that we could go with this. So we had to dive into streaming specifically just because there are hundreds of brands. So one that we're looking at today is Hulu, because Disney actually has a majority ownership and full operational control of Hulu. I believe they'll have full stake by like 2024 or something of that nature. But you can see these are mentions of people creating a new subscription or creating an account for Netflix and Hulu. And so you can see that Netflix had a lead for a long time. And then recently, Hulu's they're really kicking up and people are subscribing at a much faster pace. They're adding users much quicker than Netflix. And really it's, neck and neck. And I think that this is promising for them as, they got their feet wet in streaming. And so now with the announce of Disney Plus, we're seeing a really, really high demand for that service, which is really promising for Disney.
Megan, real quick, did Hulu begin to really pick up pace after Disney acquired them and their relationship with Disney strengthened? Was that kind of the impetus for their move?
I think that that's definitely helped. I think that their content library is something that we see people talking about on Twitter. In addition, they have a lower entry point. I think that that's smart on Disney's behalf. I think you can get in like $5.99 or something like that for the Hulu subscription, whereas the most popular Netflix subscription is closer to $13. So, they're bringing more people on board and they're getting people hooked on this platform. And then that seems like a nice transition to, I'll just add on this other streaming service by the same company.
Yeah, and Megan, the one thing I would say is kind of an asterisk here, at least on the Hulu Netflix pieces, you guys are primarily looking at English-speaking Americans as well, right?
Correct. We're looking at English-speaking tweets here.
Yeah, and so we know a lot of the Netflix growth story is international. We saw when they disappointed on that number pretty significantly what it did to the stock. But looking at Disney in particular, the big piece here in terms of the catalyst to the upside, because it was a massive move on the announcement, is Disney Plus. And I know you have some data on the demand around that product in particular too.
Yes, when we looked at this, we had to create a custom probe for this because obviously people can't subscribe yet. People can't have already created an account, but this is demand. So this is people talking about, I want to create an account. I plan on subscribing to this. I plan on using Disney Plus. And you can see it's like a hockey stick. It's incredible. And so, there was a little bit of lead up to this of people just talking about wanting some type of Disney streaming service. And I think that Disney caught on. So they're bringing this in also at a low price point. I think it's about $7. And the content here is incredible. You think about Disney and you think, it's beyond just the princess movies, right? You've got Marvel, you've got Star Wars, you've got Pixar, you've got National Geographic. There's so much content, and they're actually investing in additional content. I was surprised. One of the TV shows that they're talking about releasing on this content, they're spending $15 million an episode. That's like last season Game of Thrones level type of investment here. So that's incredible.
So Megan, you're right. You said that Disney Plus is going to be $6.99, I believe, per month whenever that launches, and that will come out November 12th in the US of this year. But I feel like that just sort of adds on a whole other streaming service to the list of what I already have queued up on my Roku TV back home, right? And this first tweet that I have actually speaks to that. He says, might as well resubscribe to cable for all the subscription services we have. Hulu Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus. How is cutting the cord any better? And this doesn't specifically speak to Disney Plus, but it does mention that Apple TV Plus, which comes out later as well. So what do you think? I mean, will there just be too many options? Will one of them be thrown by the wayside?
Megan, I don't know if you guys have any data around this, but to me, this is the question that we need to have answered if you're going to make a long-term decision on any of these companies around this space.
Yeah, one thing that we started to measure is subscription fatigue. So people talking about, having, being subscribed to too many things that they can't keep up, that it's too much. And it's, it's funny how the pendulum swings from cable then to a la carte. And now people want these bundles. And so I think that's kind of why Disney is positioned really well here, because they have a couple of different streaming services, right? They've got Hulu, they've got Disney Plus, and they've got ESPN Plus as well. So you have all of these different people that are already on board to some facet of Disney's streaming universe. And naturally, they're going to integrate their tech platform so that you have one username, one login, one credit card account. It's really easy to just kind of bundle these. So I think that that's smart. I think the release timing is really smart by Disney. You know, they're coming out with this in mid-November, and that's usually, so they're onboarding customers when people are typically, you know, purging subscriptions. So that's really exciting for December. I can only imagine how good the content's going to be.
Right, and speaking specifically to that Netflix versus Hulu conversation, I have our second tweet, and it's a little fun, and I'll ask you guys what you think, but our Twitter user says, settle something here. Binge versus the slow burn. Netflix invented the binge, and Hulu and HBO enjoy weekly episode pushes for the slow burn. So what's better? And I like this tweet because it sort of shows what exactly what separates Hulu from Netflix, and also what Disney serves to gain whenever they do put out Disney Plus, because I feel like that will have a lot of those binge-worthy content and movies, but they'll also keep Hulu with the current shows which come out weekly. So what would you say? Would you binge or slow burn?
I'm less of a binger than younger, but I mean, I have binged in my life, but very limited in my binging, which my wife actually has Netflix. I don't. I don't have the attention span to go find it all the time. I just watch sports or news.
Well, I think the thing is, whether it's binge or slow burn, the real winner is the consumer and the on-demand. The fact that you can choose when you want to watch things now, and you aren't necessarily, you know, a prisoner to the time that it comes out on cable, is really what's made this space completely revolutionary. Megan, looking at Disney, though, we know that this streaming space has been a huge growth component of their stock story. But when you're looking at it from an earnings perspective, we know that so much of it's going to be around these parks domestically, and they're already having the biggest movie year ever. Is anything else you guys is looking at maybe a little bit sour on Disney? Is everything I'm looking at here seems pretty strong?
Yeah, you know, for today, in terms of streaming and what they already have, I think ESPN Plus is showing growth. I think Hulu is showing, you know, they're adding users, so that's promising for them. Demand for Disney Plus is obviously high, so I think that that's, you know, a positive note that will be hanging around, but it's yet to be seen how many people will actually, you know, commit and start using the service. But according to our data, it looks really nice.
Yeah, we know that low price point is going to be a big component of that as well. So, you know, $6.99 or $5.99, whatever it was per month, doesn't seem like something that's going to break the bank at this point. But we'll have to see towards November. But Megan, we got to leave it there. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Really powerful stuff around this.
Thanks. Good to talk with you guys.